Now let's take a look at a specific example. I chose something for the next big thing research. When I was doing my next big thing research for the market, I also did the next big research for the PS3 and the Xbox. Now, as I said earlier in this video, a lot of you guessed that the market research we're doing also lent itself to doing product research. It's pretty much one and the same. It's not overall one and the same, but it lends itself well to our product research. So I applied the next big thing principles using the same tools that we discussed in the market research phase to the product research phase, and this is what I came up with. PS3 and Xbox motion capture controllers. Here's why I chose those things. Well, pre-sale demand is so high that Microsoft has almost doubled the expected holiday sales of their motion capture device from 3 million to 5 million. Microsoft said pre-sale interest was so high that they now expect to sell 5 million units during the holiday selling season alone. And that's up from an estimate of 3 million. That means that's a good thing. This has a chance to become the next big thing. It also extends the functionality of a product that already has 42 million users for Xbox and over 20 million users for PS3. So as I said, we want to find products that there's a good chance that they will indeed become the next big thing. And one of the things that I taught you was to look for existing products that are simply coming out with new models or new functionality. This fits the bill. Chances are very, very good that the Microsoft motion capture controllers and the PS3 motion capture controllers will be the next big thing because we've seen high pre-sale demand and we've seen estimates go as high as 5 million units just for the Microsoft product alone. It's also getting a ton of press exposure on TV, newspapers and magazines, and the internet, all of which drives search traffic and influence buying decisions. And your job is to build a website, to release articles, to go out there and promote these products on the internet. So we want to make sure that they're being driven to the internet to search. And as I showed you in the market research phase, people see the stuff on TV, people see the stuff in the newspapers and magazines, and the first thing they do is they head to the internet to do the research. I started seeing motion capture devices from Xbox makes TV programs like ABC Good Morning and NBC Today shows. I saw that 3 or 4 months ago. The product just came out this week or last, yet I saw them on TV 3 or 4 months in advance. I also saw that Microsoft said that pre-sales of the product didn't even exist, but they said the pre-sales were so strong that they almost doubled their expected sales units from 3 million to 5 million. That's another key factor in considering whether this is going to be the next big thing. I also read magazine articles that said large retailers like GameStop, which is one of the largest selling video retailers in the US, said that they have people coming into their store. They saw an increase in store traffic specifically searching for the PS3 and Xbox motion capture devices. They're not even out yet they said it increased walk-in traffic to their stores, and Best Buy said the same thing. That's another clue that this may be the next big thing. Also, one thing I like about the PS3 and the Xbox motion capture controllers is it will lead to additional purchases. We talked about that. We want to make sure that people buy more than one thing from us. So the additional purchases of the Xbox and the PS3 are quite simple. When they buy the next big thing motion controllers, they also have to have a special game that works just with motion capture devices. The motion capture controllers do not work with the old games. They have to have brand new specific games built around the motion capture device. So there you go. There's an additional selling channel for you. Games that work with the new motion capture controllers. Also, they're going to need more hand controllers. PS3s actually have to have 2 special controllers to work with the new motion capture camera device. The Xbox doesn't require it, but the PS3 does. So you have the chance to sell more hand controllers. Also, when they go to the Xbox or they go to the PS3s and they've got these new games, they may want to get some of those game microphones that allow them to talk to the game players' networks. HDMI cables or something else that they might need for the new products. They will actually bring new buyers into the market for PS3 and Xbox systems. People who hadn't bought them in the past will now see these things online. They'll say, oh my God, they're going to see the Microsoft Connect on Good Morning America and today's shows and all the other shows that are out there featuring it. And people who had never thought about buying a game before said, you know what, that looks like fun. That looks easy. I think I can do it. It's going to be just like the Wii's all over again. Remember when I said the Wii's actually brought new buyers into the market that would never have considered buying games before because they're too complicated? Well, the PS3 and especially the Xbox system now makes it easier than ever for anyone to play these games. So it's going to actually bring new buyers into the marketplace, which is cool. And they're going to have to buy new PS3s and Xboxes on top of the motion capture controllers. We've also talked about in the first video how PS3 sales and Xbox sales actually drove the upgrade cycles of high definition TV. Now, when the Xbox and the PS3 first came out, they were high def products. The problem was most TVs at that time weren't high def TVs. Also, another problem was that there was no high definition broadcast television available. They hadn't mandated that yet in the US government. And there really weren't any high def channels available through your cable operators. So people really didn't have a reason to go out and buy or upgrade to the high def television sets until the new products like the Xbox and PS3s came out into the marketplace. And I have a feeling that the new increased sales with new buyers being brought into the marketplace for PS3s and Xboxes because of the new motion capture controllers, I think that's going to help drive even more additional high def televisions going forward. We've seen it in the past. I think it's going to happen again. Holiday season spikes? Yes. Microsoft said they now expect to sell 5 million motion capture Kinect devices in the holiday selling season alone. 5 million! That's huge! It also ties into the current bestseller strategy that we talked about, because we know that when they buy the motion capture device, they're going to need to buy new games, and those are going to be new best-selling games, and we also know that they need to buy existing software and hardware for the Xboxes and for the PS3s, so it's going to help tie into the bestseller sequence too. Now, for the best sellers product I chose digital cameras. I talked about that before in our market research. I like digital cameras, and I'll talk about more of that in a few minutes here. But I chose from the Amazon bestsellers category research, I chose digital cameras as my product category. Why? Because they get a ton of press on TV, they get a ton of press in newspapers, magazines, and on the internet, and we know that those exposures will drive search traffic and help influence buying decisions. It's also very, very easy for me to find the best sellers in the digital camera market because they've been out there for the last 10 years. So if you go over to Amazon, do a click, you can easily find the best-selling cameras in the digital camera markets. It would also lead to additional purchases. So when someone buys a new camera, they also buy things like new memory cards, new lenses for the cameras, new tripods, new camera bags, new online printing services, or also color printers at home, photo editing software. And when they buy new photo editing software, and when they buy the new cameras that have the high megapixel resolution, guess what? That also drives. It also drives sales for more computer memory, or most people will not actually buy new computer memory. They're going to go out and they're going to buy new computers to edit their new digital camera photos on and use their new photo editing software because they think that's what they need. So they go out there and they buy more related products, additional purchases. They will actually bring new buyers into the marketplaces for digital cameras upgrading from film or who still don't own one. And I've actually got some stats I'm going to show you share with you in just a minute here about that. But new people will actually be coming into the marketplace for the digital cameras, the newest digital camera models coming out, because it's finally time for them to upgrade to a digital camera. There are also new models coming out weekly in the digital camera market. It will help drive interest in sales. As I said before, new models coming out for established product lines is very, very, very important for us to get repeat sales and have more search engine traffic. Digital camera upgrade cycles occur every 3 to 4 years. They upgrade because they want better resolution, they want image stabilization, or they need longer zooms. So another nice thing about entering in the digital camera market is even if it's in a downward trending environment right now, there's an upgrade cycle every 3 or 4 years, which means that people who bought cameras 3 or 4 years ago will have to buy a new camera every 3 or 4 years, and it helps smooth out the demand throughout the entire year. Also, additional purchases like digital SLR cameras and compact cameras, along with waterproof cameras, help drive the buying cycles of digital cameras. That means that even if they have a digital camera, they might decide, hey, I already have a compact digital camera, but I'd really like to step it up and go professional and get one of those digital SLR cameras, which fortunately for you cost a whole heck of a lot more money and pay bigger commissions than the compact cameras do. They also say, well, I've got a compact camera, but we went to Cancun or we went to Acapulco or we went to the Caribbean, and I realized I need a waterproof camera. So they're going to have their pocket camera, and then they're going to buy a waterproof camera on top of that. Also, replacement for broken cameras is why half the sales are made for cameras. So it's a constantly replenishing cycle. Half of all sales for digital cameras are driven by broken cameras. So it doesn't matter if it's a Christmas selling season or not. If the only camera that you own broke, you need to replace it. Holiday selling season spike. 40% of all camera sales, approximately half of all camera sales, occur every year in the last 2 months of the selling season. And we happen to be entering the holiday selling season, so it's a great choice right now for my product. Now, as I said earlier, here's something that came out in 2010. It talks about why people buy digital cameras. And it says that 43% of households were replacing older digital camera models. Great. We like people in markets where they like to upgrade. We love that. 37% of them said that they were actually making additional camera purchases. So they didn't just upgrade, they wanted to buy a second or third or fourth camera. It also says specifically, if you look at the individual markets within the overall digital camera markets, when you look at the DSLR market, which I love, it says 2/3 of households that purchased a digital SLR camera in 2009 purchased it as an additional unit. They weren't just upgrading, they were buying an additional type of camera in the arsenal. Those are the type of buyers you want to target because those people aren't afraid to spend money over and over again for the same product markets. And the number one reasons, as I said before, 43% of households desired better resolution. 43% of the people who are buying new cameras said that the reason they're replacing their old ones is because they wanted better resolution. Well, guess what, folks? Camera resolution increases, it seems like, every single month. And that's 43% of the people upgrading the camera said that's one of the reasons they upgrade. So last year we had 6 megapixels and 10 megapixel cameras. This year we have 12, 15, and even 25 megapixel cameras. And every year those megapixels keep going up and up and up, which is a driving force of bringing people back into the market to buy a new product. So that fits the bill in our research. Here's something though. If you look at the trends for Google Trends, and we covered this in the last video, market research video, I showed you that actually the overall search trend from 2004 until 2010 shows that there is a declining search volume for digital cameras every single year. Each year, the overall volume trending is down. So some people would say, well, I don't want to pick digital cameras because it's a dying market. Well, that's not the whole story, folks. One of the things I told you was that if you look at this, you see that every year, at the end of every year, there's a huge spike in volume and then it drops back down. And overall, it's a declining volume trend. But if you look at the sales spike at the end of every year, the last quarter of every year, there's a huge spike in camera sales. As I told you, that's because approximately 40 to 50% of all camera sales occur during the holiday selling season. And since we're moving into the holiday season, and one of the reasons we want to build this site is because we want to tap in and make some quick sales, well, it makes sense that we're going to tap into the holiday selling season that digital cameras offer us. So that kind of negates the declining search volume that we're talking about. Something else that happens to negate the declining search volume trends is if we go over to Google Insights, and we talked about this a little bit inside our first video. I talked about how Google has found that the majority of the categories that they follow for the trends are predictive trends. It means there's a predictability to the trending within those markets. So for digital cameras, electronics, computers, they can actually forecast future demand. So instead of going for digital cameras, and we saw it was trending down, I went to a subsection of digital cameras called the digital SLR or DSLR. More specifically, the top selling models include Canon DSLRs. So I thought, well, if digital cameras are trending down overall, but I know I can get a good spike for the holiday selling season, that's good enough for me. But what about other specific models? Maybe there's something that we don't see in the overall trend. And what we found was if we dug deeper, people are now searching for more focused functionality of the camera. So they're looking for DSLR cameras. And if you look at the Google Insights forecast, they said, if you notice each year from 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, people searching for Canon DSLR cameras is actually increasing. And going into 2011, even after the spike at the end of the year, they still could expect Canon digital SLR cameras to continue increasing going forward as a search trend. So I need to focus in on Canon DSLRs and Nikon DSLRs and Fuji and Olympus DSLR cameras because those are actually segments of the overall market that are increasing going forward. Waterproof digital cameras is something else. And if you look at the trends for those, here's something else. That is a marketplace. And we'll cover this in the actual keyword research phase, I think, in the next video. But some of my research for products found that also people are looking for waterproof cameras. And as I said, although the overall digital camera searches might be going down, the more specialized, more function-specific camera searches are actually going up and increasing each year. That's a good thing. And this comes into big play when we go into picking our categories for building our websites and also our keyword research. But for this video, we are done. Our action plan now is to use the tools that we covered in video 1 and continue covering in video 2 to pick 10 hot products. Pick those 10 products, and we're going to use those for our keyword research phase, which is coming up. I'm sorry, it says video 2, but it's actually coming up in video 3. Pick 10 products to use for our keyword research phase, which is video number 3. 7 of those, use those from the best sellers method. So go over to Amazon right now and do the best sellers research we covered in video 1. Use it for product specific research. Pick 7 of them using the best sellers method. And then I want you to actually go out there and 3 of the products that you need to have ready for the next video, I want you to pick 3 of them using the next big thing method. So in this particular example, I showed you 2. I picked the PS3 motion controllers, and I also picked the Xbox motion controllers using the next big thing methodology that I taught you in video 1. So once again, here's your action plan. You need 10 products for our next video tutorial. Of those, 7 of them will be picked using the best sellers method from Amazon.com, and 3 of them will be picked using the next big thing method. So that's it, folks. We still have keyword research to cover in the next video, and then after that, I'm going to show you how to build an SEO-friendly affiliate website. Then we're going to move on to getting traffic to your affiliate website itself, and then I'm going to show you how to turn your traffic into leads and money. So that's it, folks. Keep an eye out for the next video, video number 3 of the Amazon Affiliate Quick Start. Video number 3 will be all about keyword research. My name is Jeff Johnson. I appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you very, very soon.